Have you ever wondered why you repeat the same mistakes? Your brain might be tricking you to save metabolic energy. Our mind chooses shortcuts instead of solving complex, difficult problems. This happens in all humans, regardless of their intelligence level. Most people think their willpower is weak, but reality differs. An evolutionary algorithm from millions of years ago guides decisions. Although your brain is 2% of body weight, it is hungry. This organ is responsible for 20% of total glucose use. To survive, your brain constantly seeks a cognitive economy path. Understanding this mysterious system has the power to change life. In psychology, this condition is professionally called the cognitive miser. Our mind must filter the massive load of incoming information. We can process only 40 bits of millions received every second. This limited capacity makes using mental shortcuts a mandatory process. Intuitive heuristics protected us in the wild by enabling fast decisions. However, in the modern world, these shortcuts cause systematic errors. Most people think their brain works like a rational scientist, yet our biology always sacrifices accuracy for speed and energy. Our thinking system basically consists of two different operating modes. System 1 is fast and automatic, but very prone to errors. System 2 is the slow, working and high effort requiring part. The brain prefers the low energy System 1 as a default setting. System 2 must engage in order to analyze a mistake properly, but this analytical process quickly starts consuming brain sugar stores. During stressful or tired moments, control shifts to automatic systems. This is why we repeat mistakes we rationally know are wrong. The brain's reward system is a powerful mechanism shaping our behaviors. This system rewards survival actions by releasing the chemical dopamine. Dopamine works as a learning signal, not just a pleasure chemical. It constantly guides us by encoding the gap between expectations. The VTA region produces the reward signal and sends it. This signal loop is the main mechanism of neural habit formation. Most people assume that habits are only simple muscle memory. Actually, habits are thought and emotion patterns stored deep within. Repeated actions transfer from the prefrontal cortex to basal ganglia. This region creates mental space by encoding actions into packages. The habit loop has three components: cue, routine, and reward. When a cue is perceived, the brain runs the algorithm. Instant relief at the end reinforces the system. Every time, unless this cycle breaks, the brain follows familiar error paths. Errors on brain tissue are like deepening mental wheel ruts. When a mistake is made, the related neural pathway strengthens. Next time, the brain automatically deviates into this strong path. Following the strongest neural signal is easier than finding truth. This is scientifically called the maintenance mechanism of faulty algorithms. As synaptic connections strengthen, errors transform into specific character traits. The mesocortical pathway plays a vital role in planning processes. However, when this pathway fails, the error detection system collapses. Dopamine fluctuations in the nucleus directly control our motivation. When expected rewards fail, dopamine levels experience a sharp drop. This drop is normally a warning to update brain strategy, but in some individuals, this warning signal remains too weak. Surprisingly, our brain can sometimes reward highly negative experiences. Some dopamine signals make us repeat errors, despite repulsive results. This situation results from the weak functioning of learning circuits. Brains that cannot learn avoidance continue taking the same risks. There is a special wave appearing during errors. In measurements, error-related negativity signal forms within milliseconds of the error. In some people, this error signal is stronger than normal. Hyperactive signals create anxiety, trapping the person in repetitive rituals. In individuals with ADHD, this wave appears to be weak. The brain never activates correction, since it ignores the error. Intense shame felt during errors completely blocks the learning process. Overactivation of the amygdala immediately disables the rational brain center. Most people label those who deny errors as just stubborn. Actually, their brain perceives errors as threats, not as data. Logical thinking becomes biologically impossible. During an emotional hijack moment, instead of seeking solutions, the brain focuses on escaping pain. Social media platforms masterfully use these weaknesses of our brain. Every like received creates an artificial dopamine burst in rewards. Anticipation. Dopamine is a much stronger driver than actual rewards. Every time you check your phone, you pull a lever. The brain always works more sensitively towards uncertain random rewards. This uncertainty keeps us captive within an endless, scrolling loop. Most people sincerely believe they decide with their free will, yet most decisions are automatic outputs of mental templates. Confirmation bias is the brain selecting data, supporting existing beliefs, facts threatening. Our beliefs are filtered as noise by brain. Due to status quo bias, brain prefers preservation over change. Change faces biological resistance because it requires very high energy. Fear of loss is psychologically twice as strong as joy. Thus, quitting faulty habits feels like a big risk, biologically. Freud offered insight by calling this condition the repetition compulsion. Our subconscious tends to recreate past, traumatic situations during adulthood. Familiar pain is safer for the brain than unknown kindness. Repeating old wounds provides a kind of false control feeling. Most people think escaping the past is just about forgetting. However, the brain doesn't delete records. It builds new paths. Shocking truth. Mistakes are actually the brain's biggest breakthrough. Opportunities prediction. Error signals are powerful biological engines, triggering brain neuroplasticity. Dopamine drops during errors restructure the connections between our neurons. During these moments, your brain is ready to update codes. You can manage this process with a mental debugging protocol. As a first step, define your hidden expectation before actions. Most people mistakenly believe emotional reactions will fix the error. However, focusing on objective reality is the only way down. Update your internal rulebook by approaching yourself like a developer. Identifying which belief is wrong changes synaptic weights right away. Surprising fact: mental rehearsal is nearly as effective as practice. You can prepare your brain by doing future action simulations. Masterfully use the power of old paths. With habit stacking, add new behavior immediately after a strong, already automated habit. Since the brain is lazy, make errors difficult using design. When making errors requires more effort, the system gives up. Most people wrongly believe change must happen only overnight. Neuromyelination process completes only with patient and regular repetition. Errors are data points waiting for updates, not personal failures. This perspective stops the amygdala hijack, keeping analytical mind open. Your brain is not a machine, programmed to fail constantly. It is just a highly evolved adapter trying to save. True freedom begins when you realize your own biological shortcuts. Knowing your own mental architecture gives you the greatest power. Most people try changing the world, but internal algorithms stay. Unless algorithms change, the world is just an old repetition. Now you know exactly why your brain pushes same errors. With this knowledge, you can build new neural paths today. Remember that errors are the only language your mind evolves. Solving this language turns your brain into a loyal friend.